Hi guys, and welcome back to SwitchUp. A big thanks to Glenn's friend Dave Morrish, who's just started his own YouTube channel. I think Glenn's been helping him out with that. A link will be down in the description. Rabi Ribi is a 2D exploration platformer developed by Crease Spirit International. In an eShop flooded with Metroidvanias and pixel art games, this one joins the mix with its fun cast of anime-style hybrids, your main one being a mix of human and bunny. So is this a game worth rabbiting on about? Ugh. Or should you save your bunny? Oh man, let's find out. The game's story begins with a girl called Arena in a crate. When you see her, you'll notice she has bunny ears and a tail. Through her monologue, you discover she's a bunny who has turned into a human without any idea why or how it happened. After finding her way to a woodland, she embarks on a quest to find her master and find out what exactly is going on. On the way, she meets a fairy named Ribbon, who joins you on your quest. The journey to find your master only lasts for the prologue, where you gain your insight into what has happened to you, and the real game begins, taking you around the world, meeting its various inhabitants, and aiming to make sense of this bizarre game. And I use bizarre in the best possible sense here. The main feature of the story that really shines are the characters. Arena is extremely likable. Ribbon has a bit more sass to her, like sidekicks tend to have, and she does bring some good laughs. One part of this bizarre world is the fact that you are told that bunnies are nearly extinct, so this group of girls wearing bunny ears go hunting for them, and they serve as regular enemies to fight. There are a whole host of strange and wonderful creatures you meet in this game, and it feels like whoever you meet, even if it's a friend, you have to have a boss fight with them because why not? It's a strange world you are presented with, but ultimately it's intriguing. The narrative may feel a bit fetch questy at times, intended to give you a reason to explore the game world, but the amount of fun you'll have with the characters and their interactions make it all worthwhile. The game plays like a Metroidvania, where you have different areas to explore with a 2D map that fills out as you reach each new one. You'll find places you cannot reach yet until you gain a new item or ability, such as carrot bombs to blow up certain walls, or shoes to make you jump higher. It's not just a standard Metroidvania affair though, as there is an emphasis on boss fights, which play like bullet hells. Each one stands out and you aren't able to just run forward and brute force your way through to victory. The game boasts 1,000+ attack patterns, and it's usually best to stand back and learn how to dodge their projectiles before finding an opening to attack. It encourages combos by having a letter grade present in the top right corner during the fight, so I get to look at a nice fat letter E the whole time. Arena uses melee attacks whilst Ribbon uses projectiles. Your attacks are limited by a gauge that depletes and fills itself up automatically. Another reason not to just rush in. These attacks upgrade automatically as you use them, making them stronger and last longer, which gives it an RPG feeling too. When you die, you'll be sent back to the last save point, which is scattered around the world. If you perish enough times at the same boss fight, you'll be offered help, which if you accept, you'll get a halo that makes you even stronger, but not invincible, which is handy to give you a boost if you're really struggling. You can adjust the difficulty during the game by meeting Sculler. You can also use the shop to purchase handy items or upgrades using currency that you earn from defeating enemies. To use an item, you hold the minus button, then press the directional on the D-pad to choose one. When you're trying to get a bit of health back during a boss fight, this can be a bit fiddly, especially since you have to watch the animation of Arena eating it first. The game controls as you would expect. The face buttons are mapped to jumping and attacks, with the shoulder buttons letting you switch between Ribbon's attack types. Different moves get presented to you as you progress, and it feels nice to be able to finally get to an area you previously couldn't, like all good Metroidvanias. Exploration is also key in progressing through the game. Although you're told which way to be heading in order to continue the story, it can be beneficial to investigate other paths you might have noticed, such as a hole in the ground that must lead to somewhere, and you'll often get rewarded with an item or power-up. There are warp points spread across the world too, which makes backtracking a lot more bearable. The game plays very smoothly with plenty to see and do. The mix between a Metroidvania platformer and bullet hell boss fights blends very well together. You get a great feeling of progression as you fill out the map and gain abilities to access new areas, and Arena and Ribbon are a joy to control. Although it can be frustrating to die continuously on the same fight, it pays off to take a step back and learn how the attack patterns work, and it feels very satisfying when it finally clicks with you how to win the fight. Gameplay scores 17 out of 20, while the controls score 16 out of 20. Rabi Ribi goes for a pixel art style. Although the in-game models don't show too much detail of the characters, the cutscenes and dialogues play with static images of them. They have an anime art style, and although they aren't animated in this form, they do show different expressions to match the scene. It's in these cutscenes where you get to see the characters the way they're intended to be. Animal ears and revealing outfits included, and their personalities obviously shine through as well. I had the feeling when playing Celeste, although the in-game model is pixelated, the fact that we see our character's more detailed model in text cutscenes means that we have the more detailed model in our imagination as we're looking at their pixelated form. The game world looks gorgeous and varied. Going from a forest to town to beach to snow makes each location look distinctive. I even went underground through some caves and ended up inside a hidden house with bright colours run by bunny girls. So you don't always know what you're going to end up seeing. One word to describe how this game is would be cute. I already mentioned the characters and how adorable they can be, but the generic non-boss enemies can look a little bit too cute that at first I didn't realise they were going to hurt me. Sometimes the girls can look a bit samey, which can be annoying when you have girls with bunny ears serving as common foes, and it can be hard to distinguish them from NPCs. To the point where I entered a town and started swinging my hammer at innocent people. Luckily they can't be hurt. The soundtrack is amazing. There are a lot of great tracks in different areas that make you feel pumped for the adventure. From the opening woodland that feels very jolly and upbeat, to the latter forests where it sounds very grand and makes your adventure feel that much more epic. The background music does match the area you're in very well, and the tracks change when you encounter a boss, and you'll hear some very fast techno tracks that reminded me of Mega Man. The sound effects have a very retro feel to them too, when collecting items and dishing out the damage to bad guys. The crunching is very satisfying. There's no voice acting, which is a shame in a way, but it can be left to your imagination what the characters sound like. The overall presentation does have a lot of charm to it. There's a few nice touches, such as when you get hit, the amount of health you lose is represented as a number that flies out of you. The pixel art style works well with the gameplay, and the detailed anime models shown in cutscenes complement the story and help paint an overall picture of the world in your head, bunny ears and all. Graphics score 16 out of 20, while the sound scores 18 out of 20. The game's available on the Nintendo Switch eShop for £26.99, €29.99 or $29.99, which seems a high price at first, but there is a lot of game here on offer. It isn't one that you'll beat quickly, not just for the big world with all the different areas to explore, but also the fact that the boss fights aren't something you'll beat on your first try either. There is also a speedrun and boss rush mode that you can unlock. The speedrun removes all of the game's cutscenes so that you can stick with the action without delays, if you prefer that style. When you consider that there are other games on offer on the eShop that might potentially have the same amount of content or more for a lower price, then it might be worth waiting for a sale if you're on the fence. Especially if scantily clad part human anime girls really aren't your thing. If you've loved what you've seen in the video review and you think that this is really for you, then for that price you could certainly do far worse. Value scores 15 out of 20. Rabi Ribi is a charming, fun and utterly bonkers Metroidvania style game. It's reminiscent of titles like Monster Boy with its open exploration, gaining abilities to access new areas, and Cuphead with its difficult bullet hell boss fights, although not quite as hard as that game. All the while it's packed with characters who are a lot of fun to meet, battle and share dialogue with. This is one to hop on board with. It scores an overall SwitchUp score of 82%. A big thanks to Dave for writing this review, he's done an absolutely cracking job. As always, Glenn and I play the game as well to make sure that we agree with his scores, and yeah, totally. A big thanks to the patrons who support us every single month. If you want to join them, all the details are down in the description. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!